When discussing the most prestigious and high-quality universities in Hanoi, many people immediately think of VTC University. This institution is renowned not only for its large campus, impressive design, and modern facilities that meet international standards, but also for the quality and extensive experience of its lecturers. One such lecturer is Mr. Mark Kramer, a senior lecturer on entrepreneurship at VTC University. He previously taught at the Wharton School of Business at the University of Pennsylvania. Mr. Kramer is an accomplished American businessman who has founded over 28 companies and raised more than 3.2 billion US dollars. Additionally, he is a journalist, a book author, and the founder and operator of numerous business and investor networks in the US and around the world.
Welcome the audience to Station Vietnam, Trạm Việt Nam on VTC10. And in today's talk show, we kindly invite you to the story of Mr. Mark Kramer, who is a serial entrepreneur as well as a business book author and also journalist. And he has a lot of experience in doing businesses and consulting, especially for the startups. And now currently he's working as the senior lecturer of VTC University, which is one of the top universities in Vietnam. Please warmly welcome Mr. Mark Kramer to our talk show today.
Thank you for having me.
So first of all, can you introduce a bit about yourself and say hello to our audience today?
Oh my gosh, I'm Mark Kramer. I'm a senior lecturer of entrepreneurship at VTC University. I'm from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Philadelphia is where the country started in the United States, and I'm absolutely thrilled to be in Vietnam.
So I know that your major in university at that time was the journalism. So when you do business, did this major support you a lot?
I have to say, being a broadcast journalism major and having writing and communication skills has been invaluable as a entrepreneur. First of all, when you're a journalist, you have to source your own stories, as you know, because you're here today interviewing me. And so you have to be very creative. Have to be independent. You are resilient because people turn you down or there's obstacles in your way. So everything that journalism teaches you really comes in handy. And being able to write and speak is fabulous to have, because most entrepreneurs, especially in the technology area, come from engineering or software, and so they don't have the written and verbal communication skills.
I know that now you are running and managing a lot of businesses at the same time, right? So how do you manage them, and do you have any secret and tips in business administration?
I do. You have to be very disciplined. So I get up every morning at 5:30. I work out. I read for half an hour. It's every day the same thing. I read for half an hour. I work out for an hour. I read for another hour, and then I work. Typically from 8:30 until midnight or 1 o'clock in the morning. I only sleep 5.5 hours. But anybody who knows me knows I'm very disciplined at getting things done. Now, at one point, I was on radio for 14 years having to hand in weekly reports. Then I was writing a national column for a newspaper. So people would ask me, oh my God, how do you do all these things simultaneously? But for me, it works the opposite. If I'm not doing a lot of things, then I become very disorganized. So it works for me that way. And I would suggest to anybody who wants to be an entrepreneur that you have to be very disciplined in what you're doing. And a lot of people think that when you become an entrepreneur, you own your time and that you can decide what you want to do when you want to do it. But not really. Business actually controls you, and you're the one having to make sure you get all these things done.
You know, there's a quote that say that we not only need to work hard, but also we need to work smart. So I understand discipline is kind of work hard. So how about work smart?
Well, I think AI is certainly helping you become work smarter. And you also, Warren Buffett says this, The one thing you have to be able to master is saying the word no. And you can't say yes to everybody because everybody will chew up your time. And the only thing any of us actually has that's in short supply is time. So you have to manage your time. So if in fact you're spending your time watching sports on TV and you're not getting stuff done, it's not to say you shouldn't relax. I mean, you need to relax. But at the same time, you have to realize that you have to develop a list every day of what you want to get done and go through that list. And you have to make it a list that you can actually, it's bite size. Because if you give yourself a list of 20 things and you get 5 done, you're depressed that you didn't get these things done. So you just take the top 3 things every day and get them done. If you have time for the others, then great.
Are there any philosophies on doing businesses that you always follow?
Oh yeah, first of all, always be honest and ethical. Only deal with honest and ethical people. Anybody who's going to take the shortcut or wants to cheat, they're going to cheat you without question. So you always want to deal with honest and ethical people. You always want to treat people with respect because that's the only way you're going to get respect back. You always want to go above and beyond. So you want to under-promise and over-deliver. And I don't mean under-promise that you know that you're going to deliver that much more. I mean, work harder to give them more than they ever expected.
With extensive expertise and experience in startups and consulting, Mark Kramer chose not to rest but to embark on a new journey in Vietnam as a lecturer, teaching entrepreneurship to young people. He sees Vietnam as a wonderful destination, blessed with natural beauty, stable politics, diverse culture, and especially the creativity and diligence of its people. Each class is an opportunity for Mark to inspire young minds, sharing his knowledge and experience about startups. His goal is to help students become more confident in their learning and career-building journeys, ultimately contributing to the country's future.
First interview for my new show called The Best Business Minds. And she said, sure, what do you want to do? I said, tomorrow.
So now we move to the work that you are doing in Vietnam. I know that you are working in Vinh University as the senior lecturer. So why did you come to Vietnam to do this work?
Well, I've been teaching for 20 years. So I started teaching in 2003, and I've taught at 13 different universities. I love teaching. I love helping students. I feel that all of us have a purpose in life that God or whoever you believe in has already decided where you should be. And I think in my particular case, it's coaching people and helping people be successful. I'm much more better at teaching than I actually think at doing this. And I've run over 28 startups, so I give my students a lot of real-world experience to do it. But I thought Vietnam had huge untapped potential and that I could help improve the entrepreneurial ecosystem.
How do you feel about the Vietnamese students?
So they're so smart. I have to tell you, I was blown away. So my first semester here, and I was teaching online, I said to my students, I gave them a group project. So we put them in teams, random teams. And I said, here's the problem I want you to solve, and I want you to create a PowerPoint for it. I'm going to give you 1 hour. So the hour comes up, and they have to do 5-minute presentations. The presentations are amazing. The PowerPoints are incredible. And my students still laugh because I always brag about how smart and creative they are. They're great problem solvers. One of the things that impresses me about Vietnam, and I think why Vietnam has managed to keep and push invaders out, is Vietnamese are very good at working together. And I'll give you an example of that. One time we were in a leadership program overnight, and our students, 10 of them, had to be in a group walking in pitch black, dark, in the woods, half of them blindfolded. Now they're walking, it's a 3-hour walk. Not a single one of them complained, not a single one of them pointed fingers at the leader and said he doesn't know what he's doing, because I can tell you, in America, after 10 minutes, there'd be chaos. But with Vietnamese, they work well together in a team environment, and nobody ever points fingers at other people. I've never seen that since I've been here. So I think that's a phenomenal skill to have, and why Vietnam is going to be very successful over the long term.
So the next question is, how do you assess their challenges and also the advantages of young people when they start their businesses in Vietnam in particular and in Asia in general?
So well, a couple things I noticed. One is that people are not on time here, and you have to be very disciplined. And we're trying to make sure our students realize that being on time, handing your grades on time, doing all those things, doesn't matter how smart you are. When you make a promise and you're supposed to do it, it's supposed to happen. So I think having them develop more discipline, also creativity. So I think what we're all trying to do is what President Milan pushes for here, which is called the entrepreneurial mindset. So being able to solve any problem that's thrown your way, whether it's professional or personal. So I think that the more that we get Vietnamese students to have the entrepreneurial mindset where they come up with creative solutions, and they're more than capable of doing that.
So are there any trends in startup in Vietnam or in Asia that you can see?
Well, certainly the trends are in AI. I mean, AI is just in the beginning, and there's going to be an enormous number of opportunities with AI. We're starting an MBA program that's going to be focused on AI, and our focus is how do you use AI to create new products and services? So I think AI is incredibly important. I know that Vietnam, and I really didn't know until I came here, that oil was a big part of your gross national product. But we want to see over the next decade where instead of, I believe it's 33% of the gross national product, we want to see that get down to 20, 25%. Because we want to see more entrepreneurial startups, and we want to see more investment.
So to prepare for this trend, what are your advices for Vietnamese young people?
So my advice to them is take a look at areas that would best benefit through AI and go after and develop products and services for those areas. I mean, you want to go and do your research and find out where could AI have the biggest impact. I mean, clearly a dry cleaner is not going to have much use for AI, but certainly education, developing new products and services in the medical and healthcare field, software, cybersecurity, all of those things are going to need using AI. And AI is a great tool to save time. So I think if you go and interview people or you look at industries where efficiency could be valued through using AI, you're going to see opportunity.
So that's all question for today. Thank you so much for your time, Chair.
My pleasure. Thank you so much for having me.
So that is the end of our station Vietnam, Chạm Việt Nam on VTC10 today. Thank you so much for watching and hope to see you in the next episode.